So yeah, so I've shown this in the previous classes as well, guys. This website Z Security to buy the adapters for Wi-Fi hacking. Unless and until you have an adapter like this, you cannot perform Wi-Fi packet injection and cracking. Okay? Because the Wi-Fi adapter that comes with your system inbuilt is not capable of injecting packets. It can only capture the packets and connect to a network, but it can't inject passwords or try to crack the passwords. So therefore, when you talk about Wi-Fi hacking, it is always necessary that you have a packet injectable adapter. Okay, so there's specific chipsets like Realtek chipset, which is capable of injecting packets. There's a lot of companies, there's Alpha, Realtek, whatnot. But the cheapest ones are the Realtek ones, which is sold by this website called Z Security. Okay, and that is the same one which I've connected to my virtual machine also. Okay, so if I just go to VM, removable devices, you can see I have a Realtek chipset. So I have not connected it yet. Let me just connect it now. So before I connect it, if I type ifconfig, I only get two interfaces. If you see, there's an Ethernet interface, there's a local interface. If I want my Wi-Fi adapter, I have to go to VM, removable devices, and I have to go to Realtek. I have to click on connect. Once you click on connect, wait for a while. It should show you that it is connected over here on the top right corner. If it doesn't, you can manually also check with ifconfig. And now you will notice I have three interfaces rather than two. So yeah, as you can see now, WLAN 0 got added. Okay, this is the MAC address for my interface. So it is always better to copy this MAC address and keep it in a separate file over there, just so that because in the coming commands we use it a lot. So I'll just create a new document over here. Let's say
So it's just for capturing networks, right?
capturing and injecting packets also. So whenever you want to crack a Wi-Fi password, Karthik, you have to inject passwords. You have to perform a brute force attack, and you have to check or crack the
It
password.
find key, right?
Sorry.
It find out the key, right?
Yeah, to find out the key and to inject and crack the key. Okay. So I've noted down my attacker, my adapters, what do you say? MAC address, because this is very important for us in the coming commands. Let me increase the font. Yep, much better. Okay. So I'll just keep this on one side for the time being. Okay. Now, whenever we talk about these adapters, so just to check the mode of the adapter, you also have another command called iwconfig for interface wireless interfaces. And in this, it shows you your Wi-Fi interface. Okay. And your interfaces, usually the one which come with your system, are also in managed mode only. Okay. We have to convert this into monitor mode. So your inbuilt Wi-Fi adapters will not get converted into monitor mode. Only these special packet injectable adapters can get converted to monitor mode. Where in monitor mode, it is capable of capturing all the Wi-Fi packets that are flowing in the vicinity, in your surrounding, whatever packets or whatever Wi-Fi networks are there. To capture those packets or to inject net packets in those networks, you can convert this mode into monitor. Let me show you how to do that. There are four simple steps for that. Okay. So firstly, let's scroll down a bit. Yeah, to convert it into monitor mode, firstly you'll type the command ifconfig and the interface WLAN 0 down. So you're shutting down the interface first, and then you'll type a command called airmon -ng. This is to monitor all the packets in the flowing, to check your adapter settings and to modify the adapter settings, airmon-ng, and you'll give the command check for running processes and kill those processes. If there's any processes running, hit enter. And if there are any existing processes, those get killed at the moment. And now iwconfig wireless interface, give the interface name WLAN 0, give the mode now, and type monitor. Okay, so you're changing the mode now to monitor mode. Okay, so type mode monitor. Now, once it is changed, now up the interface again. So we shut down the interface now. So we'll start it up again. ifconfig WLAN 0 up. So these are the four commands that you can run to start to convert your monitor your adapter from managed mode to monitor mode. So just to verify, if I type iwconfig again, now you'll notice mode is monitor. Okay. Now once the adapter is in monitor mode, you can start attacking or checking the list of all the Wi-Fi networks in the surrounding. So right now in my local network, guys, I have a D-Link router. So if you notice in my Wi-Fi available networks, This is my own Wi-Fi. Then there's something called D-Link Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is the Wi-Fi router that I'll be trying to attack on. So for that, firstly, in order to capture all the packets from of all the surrounding Wi-Fi. 1 second, guys. Let me put my phone on silent. Perfect. So now, first thing, step number one, after converting it to monitor mode, you have to capture all the packets in the vicinity of all the Wi-Fi networks. For that, the command is arrow dump. Again, guys, you have a few set of commands specifically for Wi-Fi hacking. Okay, so whenever you talk about Wi-Fi hacking, before we dive into the commands, let me explain a few basic things. Okay, so when you talk about routers or access points, they're two different things. Whenever you talk about Wi-Fi hacking, there's something called a router and there's something called an access point. These are the two common terms you have. A router is something which supports both wired connections and wireless connections also. So you can also connect your LAN cable to the router and put that LAN cable to your system, and you can access the internet. And what we use in our home networks is mostly routers only. Sometimes you get something called access points. Access points are where there's no LAN port at all. You only have wireless connections. You can only connect the device via wirelessly. Okay. And whenever you have a router, it has a few specific keywords. There's something called SSID, or also known as ESSID. Then there's something called BSSID. There's something called channel, and there's something called encryption. If you want to see all these details, once I run this command, you'll see these details. Arrow dump. So let me run this command now called arrow dump. This is capable of dumping all the network packets or the Wi-Fi packets that are flowing in a local network. So you type arrow dump first, and then the interface through which you're capturing the packets. So WLAN 0. Once you hit enter, you can notice it is giving me some data over here. Okay. So as long as the command is running, it will keep capturing all the local networks or the packets that are flowing in the local in your vicinity. So if I type Control C to stop, you can see over here. Okay. Right now, these are all the local networks that are being captured from my adapter. This is my own Wi-Fi. This is my neighbor's Wi-Fi and all that. Okay. And my target over here is D-Link one. So right now I've set it to a weak encryption, WEP. Again, we'll increase this encryption also. We'll go with WPA or WPA2, anything is fine. Okay. So first we're going with an older encryption technology, WEP, and then we'll go with the latest technology, WPA or WPA2 also. Okay. Now you see a couple of things over here with each network. So firstly, we see something called BSSID. This is nothing but the MAC address of the router, the target router. Okay. Power shows you how far or how close the connectivity is or how strong the signal is. The smaller the number, the much closer the Wi-Fi router is to you. Okay. So right now, the closest one to me is my own Wi-Fi router, which is Mr. A Wi-Fi. That is why it has the smallest number, -16. Okay. The ones which are far away, the number increases for you, as you can see. So the lesser the power, the more closer the router is to you. Okay. Beacons are nothing but the packets that are being flown from your system to that Wi-Fi router at the moment. So right now, my system, my base machine is connected to my own local network, Mr. A Wi-Fi, as you can see. That is why for that the beacons are more, which is meaning there are more packets connected to it. Okay. Then channel is nothing but the frequency on which the router is running. WPA2, this is nothing but the encryption that is being used. Authentication, there's a password for this. Okay. And this is ESSID, is the router name or the signal name, Wi-Fi network name. Okay. Now, once you have got the list of all these, capture or copy the BSSID, the MAC address of your target network. So if D-Link is my target, I'll just copy this MAC address for it. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it in a textpad file. Let's say victim or target router MAC. Okay. And this is the target router MAC. Okay. Station. Now, if in the lower column, you can see something called station. Stations are nothing but the devices that are connected to those routers. Okay. So these are all the routers. And to those routers, whatever devices are connected, those all other client systems or client devices connected. Okay. Now, once you get this information, select a target client or the target router, and now run arrow dump again specifically for that router to capture packets on that. So now I'll give the command arrow dump again -ng. Okay. And I'll specifically choose one of my victims. So if I want to run it for this D-Link router, I'll just copy this MAC address. And now I'll give -BSSID to specify the MAC address for the router. This is my victim. So I'll paste that MAC address and then I'll give -channel, the channel it is running on. So right now this one is running on the channel number which is 2 over here. So I have to specify the channel number, which is nothing but the frequency. And then I'll get hyphen write. Write is nothing but to capture all the packets related to that router. So in those packets only, you also have the password for the Wi-Fi router. So in order to crack the password, you need to capture those packets first. So you give hyphen write, and you'll give the location or the packet or the file name where you want to capture it. So I can give the file name as, let's say, WEP cracking. Okay. And then in the end, I'll give the interface again. So one common thing you have to notice is, guys, in the end of the command, you have to always mention the interface through which you're capturing the packets. So now once I hit enter, carefully observe, guys, as soon as I hit enter, a few packets now come over here, or files that are generated. Now this is capturing all the packets for us on that target router. So these are the packets. Okay. So if you notice over here, you see something called data. That is the packet number that is captured. So in order to crack the password much quicker, you need at least 20,000 to 30,000 data packets over here. So if the target router is a busy router, you can easily capture that in 15 to 20 seconds, max to max, or 1 minute at least. But if it is if there's less clients connected to it, and if that is not a busy router, you have to initiate a replay attack. Replay attack is nothing but from your adapter, you will now start sending packets to the router. Okay. And with that increase in traffic, you can now try to capture the password also. So I'll split my terminal now horizontally. Okay. And now coming back to our notepad file. So step number 3 is done. To capture packets from singular target, this is the command we gave. Okay. Now we need to capture sufficient packets to crack the passwords. Okay. Now if there is no sufficient traffic, we can generate our own traffic also. For that, the command is air replay attack. So to capture the packets, you have arrow dump. To start a replay attack, to replay packets or to initiate or generate traffic, you have air replay. Okay. So for that, first we need to associate with the network. So there are 2 simple commands, guys. First, there's air replay, and you create a fake authentication, and you have to give the target MAC address, the attacker MAC address, and the interface. Okay. Target MAC is the router MAC. Attacker MAC is my adapter. So if you remember, these are the 2 things which I noted down in a notepad file first. Okay. So firstly, I'll go with air replay -ng. And if you want to learn about the command, you can go with -help also. Okay. So firstly, we need to create a fake authentication. For that, the number is -1. So you can give the command air replay -ng and -1 for fake authentication. First, you have to associate with the target with fake authentication, and you have to give a delay. So I can give a delay like 0. Okay, any random number, anything is fine. Then -e for BSSID or ESSID. E is nothing but the router name, which is D-Link. So I'll give the name over here. DLINK1, D-Link1. -A for attacker MAC. So which is over here. So -A is attacker, or sorry, target MAC. Target MAC is nothing but this one, which I have noted down over here. I'll copy this and paste it over here. Oh, 1 second. Okay. Then -h, which is my attacker MAC or my adapter MAC. So copy my attacker's MAC. Control C. Control Shift. And then in the end, as I've mentioned, WLAN 0, the interface. Okay. Now once you hit enter, this will associate with the target. And once you run that, you can notice now a new device got added in the station. This is my Kali router. Kali's MAC address, as you can see, 0013EF. That's the same address I have over here. So now I'm connected to the Wi-Fi router even without knowing the password. Okay. So now, but I still won't get internet access. I'm just associated with the router. Now, after your association is done, you have to start sending the packets. So right now only 406 packets have been sent. Now to initiate the packets this time, I'll change this from -1 to -3. This is for our replay, to start replaying the packets and start generating traffic. So this -1 changes to 3. Okay. And then just remove all this information. You don't need to give ESSID, everything. So this A hyphen now changes to B for the target. Now, once you hit enter, oh, 1 second, -3, and this is no 0. There's no 0 over here. I have to remove this. And now I have to hit enter. Now, once I hit enter, packets will start getting sent. So you have to wait for a while. So as you can see, there are packets being sent over here. 780, 890. So you have to wait for a while for packets to generate. And slowly the data will keep on increasing. Now, once the data is at least minimum 10,000 or 15,000, we can crack the password. So we have to just patiently wait. As you can see, now the packet is packets are increasing much higher now, quicker. So again, this packet injection or packet capturing, all this is only possible because of our advanced injectable adapter. If you don't have such an adapter, this injection and all will not happen, no matter how many times you try. So let's just wait for a bit. We need at least 15,000 or 10,000 packets at least. Mm. Mm. Let me pause the recording for a while, guys. So as you can notice now, guys, I've captured at least 30,000 packets now. So once all the capturing is done, you can stop these attacks now. You can just type Control-C to stop. You can clear the terminal. Okay. And you can also stop this also if you want. Control-C to stop again. Okay. And if you want to crack, again, just run the authentication attack once. Air replay the auth. So -1, just run this again. When you get the message association successful, now run the next command, air crack. So to crack the password now, the command is air crack -ng, and then you have to give the file name. We have captured the packets. So on my desktop, if you notice, there's a few packets that I've captured over here. Okay, and the file name is WEP crack. So I'll go over here and I'll type WEP crack, and I have to give the .cap file. So there are multiple files, as you can see, .csv, 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 .netxml, and here's a .cap file. So this is the file that is required for cracking of the password. So now, firstly, I'll give that .cap file over there. Okay, and I'll hit enter. So once I hit enter, it starts cracking the passwords, and you can see over here, it says key found. And this is the key for the system. So this is the password, the 8-digit, not 8-digit actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the 10-digit hexadecimal password for the target router using WEP. So you can either give this password by removing the columns, or you can also give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the password which I set for my router. So let me do that in my phone now. So let me connect my phone remotely and show you. 1 second. Windows E, remote capturing, screen copy. Screen copy. I have to enable USB debugging in my phone. 1 second. Allow. Now, yeah, I hope my screen is visible, guys. So these are all the Wi-Fi networks in my phone that are available at the moment. And if you notice, I'm not connected to any Wi-Fi at the moment. Okay, so Wi-Fi is on, but I'm not connected to any networks. So this is my D-Link network. And you can notice it is asking for password now over here. Oh, 1 second. Phone got disconnected again. 1 second, guys. Let me run screen copy again. Yeah, and you can notice when I click on D-Link, it seems to be asking for password. Why is this not visible over here? When I'm clicking on password, it is not being shown on my screen, guys. 1 second. Let me just capture screenshots. Okay, screenshot is not possible in this. Okay, 1 second, guys. Let me enter the passwords over here. So I'm entering the 123455 password over here. This is not being visible in the screen, guys, because Android security is not allowing me to capture the screen when I'm entering the password. But I'm entering the password 12345, and when I click on connect, now you'll notice it is saying obtaining IP address, and it is connected to the device at the moment. Okay, and as you can see, I'm right now connected to D-Link. At the moment, for my router, there's no internet connectivity. So since it's a desk laptop, let me connect it to the internet first, to my other home network router. And now I'm connected to the internet. And I can just browse. And you can see internet is able to browse. I'm able to connect to the router. Now this is weak security, guys. Now let me increase the security of this. So I connect my D-Link router to my laptop and now change the security to WPA or WPA2. So I'll stop this whole thing. I'll disconnect over here again. Connected, I'll just click on disconnect and forget. Okay. And now let me connect my router, D-Link router to my system and increase the security. So I'll go to my browser. One 192.168.1.1 admin. This is my D-Link router. So I'll go to security now, setup, and wireless security. Earlier it was in WEP, as you can see. I'll increase the security to WEPA. Okay, much more advanced. So I'll click on apply changes. WPA or WPA2, anything, it's the same guys. It's just an updated version. No change in the security. Both of them are the same level. Just in WPA2, it uses a longer key. Okay, nothing more than that. Okay, so as I was mentioning, guys, so for WEP packet capturing, password cracking, you just need to capture a few packets, at least 15,000, 20,000 packets, and then use the air crack to crack the password. But for WPA and WPA2 security, they have removed that vulnerability. They have made it much more advanced to see to it that in those 15,000 packets, nowhere a password is sent. The password will only be sent when when a new system or a new client connects to the router. And that packet is known as the handshake packet, guys. So you have to specifically capture for that handshake packet. Okay. Once you capture that handshake packet, you have to use a word list again to crack the password. So there are two requirements. You need a handshake packet specifically. So I've written it down in Notepad file also. So for WPA password, there are two requirements. You need a handshake packet. This is captured when a new client connects to the target router. Okay. Secondly, in this packet, you have the password hash. But to crack that, you need a word list also. Unless and until you have a word list, guys, you cannot crack the password for WPA and WPA2. Okay. To create your word list, again, you can use Crunch tool. So Crunch is a tool that can create a word list depending on your criteria. So you can specify Crunch, and you can give hyphen or minimum and maximum number of characters, like let's say 6 to 10. And you can give the alphabets of your choice. So for example, if I give ABHIOS, something like that, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And if I give the hyphen output file /root/desktop /wordlist.txt. Now, automatically using these characters, it will create a word list for me. So once I hit enter, you can notice this is a 112 GB word list. Okay, quite a big one. In a real-time scenario also, when hackers do it, they create a huge TB, a huge hard disk complete of word list, and then they try to crack the passwords, which contains the most possible keywords. Okay. For the time being, I won't be creating such a big word list. I'll just create a word list defaultly with a few random passwords. Okay. So I'll right click and I'll click on create a document, and I'll just give a few random passwords over there. Let me rename this to wordlist.txt. And I'll just give some random passwords over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, password 1, 2, 3, pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Shoaib, Muhammad, Krishna, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, Krishna, 1, 2, 3, 4, Shoaib, 1, 2, 3. Just giving some random passwords over here, guys. Again, as I've mentioned, the password needs to be in the word list for it to crack. If you don't have the word list over here, again, the password in the word list, WPA or WPA2 cannot be cracked again. So much better alternative is download word list from the internet, so that in those word lists, there are common passwords that are used by victims. Okay, I can just give mobile numbers over here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Just creating a word list of mine. Okay, so I'll save this file now and I'll just close it. Now I'll come back to my Kali and I'll connect my adapter again. VM, mobile devices, Realtek, connect. Once connected, I'll convert it to monitor mode again. So firstly, right now, oh, still not connected. Let's wait for a while. Disconnect and connect again. Oh, not successful. 1 second. I have config and now it is connecting. Oh, yeah, connected. Now I'll convert this from monitor manage to monitor mode. First, I have config WLAN 0 down, then R1-ng check kill IW config and the interface WLAN 0 mode monitor, and then I have config WLAN 0 up. So, oh, 1 second, WLAN 0, not WLAN O, up. Now if I go to IW config again, now it is in monitor mode, as you can see. So firstly, we need to capture all the, create a word list. So I'll create a document over here, new file called wordlist.txt, and I'll give some random passwords in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Password 1, 2, 3. Sure 1, 2, 3. Won't tell you. Few common passwords in Wi-Fi. Password is password. Krishna 1, 2, 3. These are the same common passwords that are actually found in wordless, guys. No different password. I'm using the same thing. Muhammad 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay. Now, randomly, once a word list is created, I'll go to my terminal over here. I'll type ifconfig again. And now the MAC address has changed. If you notice, it is in a different method. Just copy this whole thing, the first 6 characters. Okay. Control-Shift-C. That is the MAC address for my monitor mode adapter. So create a new document over here for Wi-Fi, and I'll paste the attacker MAC is this one. I'll remove the hyphens with the, I'll replace them with semicolon just so that there's no confusion. Okay. And now the first thing that I have to do is capture the packets. So right click, open terminal, arrow. Okay, guys. So as you can notice, I've given the same command, arrow dump ng. I'll hit enter. This will start capturing all the networks in my local, in my vicinity. And our target now, D-Link 1, if you notice over here, is now WPA2 protected, encrypted. Earlier it was WEP, now it is WPA2, which means I've increased the encryption for it. Now again, I'll just copy the MAC address for my target also. I'll paste it over here. So target MAC is so and so. Okay. Now once you've captured this, again start capturing the packets for that specific router. Again, arrow down, -ng, -hyphen BSSID. Okay. And I'll give the target MAC, then -hyphen channel for this now. Since I've increased the security, channel changes to 1. So -hyphen channel. And then finally, -hyphen write. I'll write this to my desktop. Let's say I want to crack the password now for WPA. So I'll type WPA crack. Okay. And then in the end, interface, WLAN 0. As soon as I hit enter now, guys, as you can see, it is capturing the packets. Okay. So again, we have to wait for the handshake capture. So as soon as a new victim connects to this device, automatically a handshake will be captured. Okay. So at the moment, if any handshake is captured over here, you'll see in this right corner, WPA handshake capture. So let's wait for that. At the moment, it also needs some clients connected to the target. So let me connect my phone to it. So as you can see over here, one device is connected. This is my phone. Okay. So, and you can notice over here, the handshake got captured as soon as it is connected. So just in case if handshakes do not get captured also, guys, we can run another separate command. Okay. So a command is air replay. So we can de-authenticate the victim. So here, if you notice, so the next command that I want to run is to de-authenticate the victim. So to disconnect the victim from this Wi-Fi router. So once it gets disconnected and gets connected back also, the authentication packet gets captured. The handshake gets captured also. Okay. And using this handshake, I can crack the password. So just in case, if you don't get any handshake captured over there, you can run the command called air replay -ng space -- the auth. Okay. And you can give a number of packets. I can give 5 or 10 or whatever of my choice. Okay. And then I have to give the attacker machine IP, MAC address, the client MAC address, and everything. So over here, -a target MAC, -c client MAC, and then interface. So I'll give -a, and then my target MAC, which is this one, Control C, Control V, and then my client MAC. So my station MAC, which is this one, any one of them. Okay. So A2, B4, 9D, BF, 3880. So whatever is mentioned over here, the same MAC I've mentioned over here. So what I'm trying to do over here is I'm trying to disconnect that device from my target MAC. And I'll give WLAN 0. And once I hit enter, you will notice for a short duration of time, this device will get disconnected. So once I hit enter, you'll notice it is sending the packets. And in that device, as you can see, it got disconnected for a bit. The packets were lost, frames are increasing. In the same way, WPA handshake gets captured. Once the handshake is captured, last command to run is aircrack -ng, and then you'll give the packet name. This file is I'll stop this capture now. And this file name is WPA crack. So I'll give that file name first, WPA crack.cap, and -w for word list. And I have to specify my word list file, which is this one, wordlist.txt. So once I give that, one second, -w wordlist.txt. And once I hit enter, if your password is in that file, it automatically cracks it and gives you the password. As you can see, guys, Krishna124. That was the password which I set for my router. Again, same methodology, same technique, no difference at all. You need to capture packets and capture handshakes. But one thing is for WPA and WPA2, you need a word list. Unless and until you have a word list, the password will not be shown to you like this in clear text. Okay. So that is for different encryption technologies, right? Older one, WEP, and the latest one, WPA or WPA2 also. Okay. Any questions or doubts, guys, up to this part? Again, guys, as I've mentioned, all this is only possible when you have firstly the adapter, the Wi-Fi adapter, and after having the adapter, a good word list to crack the password. Okay, so in latest technologies in today's world, everyone uses WPA, WPA2 only. Okay, no one is using WEP. But just in case, to show you how it is cracking, procedure is same for WEP and WPA. You capture the packets, you initiate your authentication, you capture the handshakes, and you try to crack it. The commands might be a bit confusing, guys, but again, if you just have a notepad file like this, you can step by step follow those commands and then run it. Okay, so I've given each step-by-step process. So first, we are converting it to monitor mode. Then we capture all the Wi-Fi networks in the vicinity. Then we capture Wi-Fi packets for a specific network. And then we try to initiate our own packets, okay, with air replay. With this air replay attacks, we can capture more packets. And from those packets, we can try to crack the password. So once you perform air replay, then you try air crack. Same methodology works for WP and WPA2 also. You initially first try to perform arrow dump. So you copy the same command again. So this one, Control C. So first we run the arrow dump, again air replay to capture the authentication or handshake, and then air crack. Same methodology. But for WP and WPA2, you need an extra word list. Unless and until you have a word list, you cannot crack the password. Same commands. So is this clear, guys? Everyone? Prasanna, Lokesh, Chetan, Vinay. Hello? Chetan, were you asking something?
Yeah, sure. It's clear.
Perfect, guys. So yeah, nothing more. Again, the recording has been split into two. So I'll just convert the recording, guys. I'll join those both files and then send the combined video. So give me some time for that. Okay. So I'll send the recording in an hour or so because I have to combine the videos. They're two separate videos because a session got disconnected. So I'll join or merge the videos and send the recording. Okay. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nothing more for our session.
Sorry.
Yeah, look.
Please send me the notes web. Everything complete.
Yeah, notepad file. I forgot to send the notepad file. Let me send this notes first to everyone and then disconnect or end the session.